Hallo zusammen! Fellow Germans might be wondering why is he making this video, because it's obvious how to pronounce this band name. To be honest, I'm afraid it isn't. I've heard numerous variations of English pronunciations of this band name and different versions of it, and it is interesting to say the least. And while I was conceptualizing this video and wrote my script here, I noticed that, you know what? There's actually much that can be said about this band name in specific, and also about the German language in general, at least parts of it, how it works, because all of that is also somewhat featured in this band's name. So let's talk about it today and how to verbalize it correctly. And by the way, this video isn't about the origin of the band's name, the German town and military airbase Ramstein with one M and the related airshow accident in 1988 and all that, which is also interesting of course, but this one simply focuses on the linguistic side of it, the linguistic aspects, grammatical things, verbalization of letters, etc. And actually, talking about these things, the band's name is a good example of one of the most common German grammatical tools to create words, nouns, adjectives, you name them. Compound words, combining single words to one new word, usually with a combined new semantic meaning. In the case of Ramstein, the first part or prefix syllable is Ram. As a noun, this term doesn't exist like that on its own, it's rather derived from the verb rammen, to ram, to drive against something, to hit or to crash. But of course, you could also nominalize this term to das Rammen, the hitting or crashing. The second part is a common German masculine noun, der Stein, singular, die Steine, plural, the stone. So combined it would be the hit stone or crash stone. This could very well relate to cornerstones or other types of stones functioning in a protective way, similar to pillars that are installed to slow down cars or vehicles and immediately stop overly fast ones to prevent accidents and the like. Some interesting trivia for all you guys loving the German language and what makes it great. Even though it's not a compound term that gets used in everyday German, Germans can still immediately say, okay, it's a masculine noun and it has to feature the article der. In Determinativkomposita, the terminating compound words, so to speak, which are the vast majority of compound words in German, the grammatical gender of the last part determines the grammatical gender for the whole compound word. So, since it's der Stein, a masculine noun, der is the masculine article here, the whole compound word Ramstein would be a masculine noun as well. Looking at the pronunciation, the verbalization of the different components of the band name, let's learn about some basic linguistic German features that can be found in the band name too, which actually make this band name a great German lesson on its own. The first one is the common standard German R, which in standard or high German, meaning non-dialectal German, doesn't get trilled the way Till does it in Rammstein songs. More about that though in a different video I've done, which can be found in the end card. There are three types of R sounds in German. So what I'm gonna talk about now is the common R in standard or high German as opposed to dialectal German. Please keep that in mind. The most common and standard German type of R is the R, a rather non-shrilled, non-rolled, slightly throaty type of R, Rammstein. Some fixed endings of terms, suffixes that end in R, might be verbalized way differently though. For instance, in a noun like der Lehrer, the teacher. As you might have noticed, the suffix R, E, R, rather gets verbalized like an A type of sound. Der Lehrer. That's pretty much typical for German words with this suffix. What you might also have noticed is that the A in Ram is rather short. That has to do with it being right in front of a double consonant, the two M. Now, when you have a vowel that's directly followed by a double consonant in German words, that vowel almost always gets verbalized short. So it's not Ramstein, but it's Rammstein. It's a little bit similar to the usual verbalization of the English to strum. Rammstein, to strum. And by the way, the aforementioned noun, der Lehrer, features the exact opposite to the double consonant rule, a prolonging, stressing H, which leads to the E in the first syllable of Lehrer to be pronounced long, Lehrer, not Lehrer. But continuing with Rammstein, the fixed consonant combination ST can be very tricky for learners, similar to SP, by the way, that combination. Because even though it looks quite obvious and simple, ST equals ST or SP equals SP. Well, that's usually not what this consonant combination gets verbalized like. In these combinations, the S gets verbalized like a sh combination, SCH, SCH, similar to the English SH, sh. That's why it's not Stein, even though people from Hamburg might disagree here because of the dialectal form here, it's rather Stein. The fixed vowel combination EI, being a diphthong, can be equally tricky, I guess. Even though it contains the German E, it gets verbalized as an A sound in this combination. So it's not Stein, but Stein. It's basically similar to the English term shine with an additional T added in there. Stein. And when you have a term that features more than one syllable, like this one for instance, which features two, you also need to know which syllable gets stressed. And in this case, Rammstein. The stressing clearly lies on the first syllable. Rammstein, not Rammstein. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and to share this video with others, because that's the best way to support your favorite creators. Big thanks for doing that in advance, and if you also want to watch more Rammstein related videos from me, well, you can check out my playlist linked right here in the end card. Thanks for watching everyone, I'm your Vlog Dave, tschüss und bis zum nächsten Mal. Keep listening to Rammstein.